We are live. Pew. Caleb Sternberg, welcome to the YouTube.
TSM hoping to catch Envy unaware, but they seem to have eyes in every direction. So the flawless anti-eco goes off without a hitch, essentially. Only Ion taking any damage. But Envy working the map supremely well. And, you know, we're always kind of talking about the contrast between this team and the M80 of last year, who were much more methodical, played without duelists on Icebox, for example, very macro-oriented. Envy do feel in many senses to be the opposite end of that spectrum. But I also feel that they supplement their raw shooting ability with a really good understanding of how to work the map. And I think Inspire helps them a huge amount in that regard. He's always able to work mid, always able to take space and happy to fight for it as well. Envy are really strong in the macro sense as well, just in a different manner.
Spike down A.
Bold from Poppin to step out that far past the dark cover. No one to trade off of him. And even if they attempted to, they would have also just been covered up by that one-way. Cage allows Inspire to go on the spike retrieval mission. But in this 4-on-5 with a weak weaponry, going to be quite the challenge for Envy. You could have seen them trying to go for maybe the round the world, get both orbs for Eggster, but they are fully denied on A.
I will say it's interesting to walk that one way with such confidence. I'm not sure about that. Very much easy for Timo. Yeah, Timo to win that encounter. It's a bit of a non-issue. However, damage coming in. Alvin tagged up on the site. Timo going to get there. Vora also took a hit earlier on, so Envy get great chip damage before they even get onto this B site proper. And Alvin is still tucked here, but all that Cypher util's gone. But time's been bought for TSM to set up for Boba. And 7 explodes onto the site by dealing with Ion. And that spike might be headed out of here. Kane, though, has to stay and fight. He's boxed in.
About to get flanked as well, gets one, but that should be all. And it is. Was scared for a second. Inspire will be able to get this free plant. Just has the stinger at the moment, though, so hopes of a 1v3 clutch with that weapon going to be incredibly slim. At least the economy will get a little boost.
And that, of course, Cybercage is going to give him a bit of early notice. He does hear the flicker of it. So Inspire is definitely up against the odds, especially having taken that amount of damage around the corner. Timo, though, gets slapped. Should be a simple matter of a triple swing here. Triple swings by anybody. As Inspire will fall back in that spawn direction. Timo puts him out of his misery. And there's that gun round found for TSM. Very much in this game. And a couple of oversights maybe from Envy in that round allowed TSM to get in.
Yeah, really didn't need to go down one player straight off the jump. And then when they go for that B side execute late, I like how Alvin Boy is able to play it, just retaining that backside space, which allows TSM to flood through Boba pretty easily. And
well, that's why one ways are good, chat.
Initial kills here, yeah, 7 able to take out Ion back sight. That's also why you don't walk through them.
That's why Omen's that good. The fact that he was even getting used on bind at one point over the brim just because of that one-way potential. Tell you everything you need to know. Chucky meets Cam. And it will be the Cypher Vision shutdown inside B lobby here, but more of a default stance on the round. This time, we are now respecting the one-way. Character development here from Envy. Now we're even potential walk-up too.
In that final stage of VCT, America's Omen was by far the highest pick rate agent, I believe, like something 75% or so. Basically just ran everywhere. The Clove, very rare. That's a crazy entry.
Wow, come on, through the cyber cage.
Play the lottery, play the lottery.
It's gonna take the wind out of their sails though, isn't it? Ion gets the better of him eventually, but it's still to the favor of TSM, numbers-wise. 2 players up inside elbow. And Envy now can work their way out onto the site, but TSM are getting themselves arranged. There'll be a late wrap here from 7. 2 players set up on short, softening them up a little bit is Vora. And Poppin, frankly, just gets dropped on. Good response here from TSM, and this is the kind of model we've seen for teams who've been able to find success against Envy. Just patient play, solid fundamentals, and maybe a little sprinkle of magic there like that Gimon 2-piece.
Yeah, that was quite fortunate, but I also like how 7 is able to play that situation late and goes for that fairly quick flank into elbow, which the remaining 2 Envy players did not expect at all. Plus, Poppin just has to cover Ion when he's sticking the spike default plant, so he gets a free kill there. I really liked 7's game yesterday. I think he was playing very intelligently against core in that lower final.
I don't know if he played a rifle round. I don't think he picked up a Vandal or Phantom at any point, but
A lot of
very
Judge,
effective.
a lot of Odin.
Yep. No Sheriff.
It worked.
Yeah, it's brought that, I think, that entire conversation about Odin back into vogue. On a map like this, though, I don't particularly think Seven will be that way inclined. He's got eyes on top mid right now, and Aspire's being pretty tentative about how he takes control of that part of the map. Actually playing for a bit more aggression than TSM look to be ready to provide. And Timo now gets to post up on an extremity with the op. And against this kind of round from Envy, where they are more lightly armed, can definitely expect something. I like the gate crashing across the way. Timo's going to be forced at the line. That is dirty from Exter. And it's an operator handed over to Envy. What a great way to unravel that setup. And now they've got side control. Straight through the smoke, they're going to come, but Envy ready for them to some degree. And that's the relay bolt setting it up. Exter with 3 kills for the round. 1 with the frenzy, 2 with the op inside, and now there's no choice but for TSM just to walk up. And again, it's more than once in a blue moon that these rounds get thrown in for Envy. That is
that is such an Envy moment. I was going to say, how are they going to clear this operator in main? You know, they have some options, maybe like throw down the cage, pop out of it with multiple players, because they didn't have that drone for popping, which is going to be the main tool. But now Exter just goes for the classic Yoru trick play with the gate crash combo flash. That was really sick. Kane hit some snappy shots at the end, but yeah, Exter gets with a 3-piece with the op as well. That is insane. And that's kind of what I'm saying about Exter, right? Like, I think he's developed the more technical side of Yoru, playing a more sound game as the year has gone on, but will still throw in those trick plays that you don't really see other Yorus going for, and he picks the opportune time for it there.
Alvin here is going to see all of this coming. Multiple bodies spotted from Envy, having made the round, able to get this site for free. It does appear the TSM set up for very much a retake. Vora with the Hunter's Fury, and Timo hasn't bought a rifle, so you know he's looking for some overdrive value. We'll open up with the Hunter's Fury, though. Vora, a lot of lights up on that side. It's Ion that will have to have that ult drawn out of him, and Kane gets active immediately over by the link side. It's going to be relay bolts traded out, fast lane thrown up. Timo, though, doesn't seem to respect it. He wants to take this engagement. Ion, though, makes use of his spare life, and Kane follows him up. Just unreal trading capacity from this Envy squad. These guys can shoot. Exter's low. Bit of a self-flash there, but you'll note that the spike is heading in the most circuitous direction possible. Envy got that link control and are using it to get to B.
Ooh, what's up, Maniac?
They just have absolutely no right to come out on top.
I did see that, Maniac.
Ion playing that late flank position in spawn, holding the off angle. GMD, yeah, no, cooked. Exter waiting in tiles. Envy just get away with winning low percentage win chance rounds with such an unbelievable consistency. Ion has, what, a second left to
Dude, look what I just found.
Hey,
free advice guy. I just found a bunch of money. What should I do with it?
First thing you need to do is start stacking for an emergency fund. It'll give you peace of mind if anything happens to you in life. If you want to know what to do next, you gotta follow me. Free advice guy.
Scenarios where that picking up there is pretty important to allow him to actually stay around in the fight, at least set up a solid trade for Kane. Envy always have each other's backs. Now, Exter can't gate crash right now. He doesn't seem to care. I mean, get this guy out of there. Get him out. The disrespect from Envy gets punished, and that's what TSM have to do. They've got to earn the regard of their opponents here, but they set the playing field to favor them very heavily with that 0 point. And Envy still want to challenge it.
Yeah, I like as well, you know, TSM definitely aware that Exter is the man with the off. Kane wants to recover this spike, is able to get it, and wants to fight when the wall drops. Good trade from Seven.
Spike down A.
We talked about this before. Like, there's a generally agreed on way to play some of these scenarios, like setting up crossfires and like where you want to be and how many risks you want to take. And Envy really tend to throw that rule book out of the window, and it's a big part of their strategy against so many teams, especially those that are drilled and really macro oriented and, you know, want to play by the book. Envy tend to really upset that on occasion. TSM combine really nicely to take that A main control, and Envy just have no other option but to keep fighting for it. They're priced into playing with that level of audacity as it is. So Inspire, as per usual, is managed to weasel his way into a very different part of the map. But you'll notice that Timo is expecting this, with mid having been pretty open.
I knew there were stairs up there.
That in order to gamble heavily on A. They have an idea what the site
Is it behind a wall? I didn't even see it. I'm doing multiple things at once here, Maniac.
Get any value here, and Spire would like to even just get some kills, but Timotino is
Alright, TSM with Thrifty. I'm definitely rooting for TSM. This is like full circle.
I feel like if Seven didn't get that
When Valorant first launched, TSM was the one of the above the 10s box. What? There are stairs there?
TSM, that 0 point connects. So they know Eggster's there. They also know Eggster is opping, so they can just overwhelm with numbers. And that was an awesome pop flash as well. Seven's util there gets insane value.
So both sides of the coin we've seen, right? Envy winning these ridiculous thrifties with that trap play on Timotino in B main, and then losing a thrifty to just good application of utility. It's not just about gunplay in this game. I know it's a bit of a meme at this point, but TSM, if they're going to win, those are the kind of angles that they
Apartments. Interesting. I'm going to have to go on this map and turn ghost mode on.
Affected by it now, and Gimon's not on this line yet. That's a wider swing than he would like into 3 players, and he is duly punished for it.
Just alone, dry swing for info. Timotino on the line, but pinged up, has to definitely get out on account of the drone. Great timing for Seven to peek, 1 for 1 though. So Envy retain that man advantage, getting all the information on player positions from the neural theft, so they know that Alvin was on the flank.
Even with an op? Oh my goodness! He went to post up on that angle. Like, we were honestly getting close to the domain of a potential multi-gun save there from TSM. They opt to go for it though. They got the money to spend on that kind of round, but it goes up in smoke.
Aside from just the gunplay, which we know Kane is absolute top tier challengers with.
It's funny, they look so good, and then they look so amateurish.
Generally, I think you're absolutely putting him up there with the top aimers. But with the Neon play right now, honestly, what's blowing me away is his util usage. It's been fantastic. The way that he's using the relay bolts, the angles he's firing them off on, how many connections he's getting. Really intelligent stuff.
I like this from Timo. Even if he wasn't really committed to it, just being able to dissuade Envy's aggression will now urge in control of A main for now, especially with the one-way in play. But it's all been a ruse, Wyatt. Look at this mid presence. Envy are already top mid, threatening a split. Now the 0 point caught on, but Vor is not able to respond to it quickly enough, and if Alvin can play this safely enough, he might have found the relief valve. There's Timo to the rescue just in time, and this play almost falls apart, but Timo extends a little bit too far around the corner, and Poppin manages to master his aim. Now the 1 versus 1. Neural theft, though, still ticking. So Gimon gets an updated information about where Poppin is, and he tries to take the fight.
Oh, he whiffed.
The aim from Gimon, he loses it out.
He whiffed.
Right idea,
yeah, dude, that mid presence was insane. Or that mid push.
Over the door to make it seem like he could be going to A, he could be going back to B. Gimon has the read on the situation, holds the angle, but just doesn't connect the shot. TSM have got enough to buy up again. With just some light and regen armors. Alvin does so much work there. Timotino kind of gets ahead of himself though. The pushing in before there was that refight from Alvin. Timing's just a little bit off.
Flash there, but it's just a warning one.
And a fake gate crash into that cage as well. So it, you know, seems like Envy could have been making a play towards elbow, but TSM have players there, so they know that is absolute nonsense, and they have the read on the situation. They're rotating to be really quick.
That was a clone. That was one that does trigger that trap wire. So all this side still starting to get clear. Seven's in the site, though, getting down and dirty with it. Alvin wants to get involved now. May as well. In for a penny, in for a pound, and Envy find themselves just a little too low on numbers when it counts. X to the last to fall. A nice opener there from Seven, though. That shorty, that stinger gets put to use.
He was looking super hyped up after that as well. TSM just had the perfect understanding of that situation. It was a cool little idea from Envy, right? They throw that cage, gate crash, flash over towards that, you know, A elbow side, but TSM just happened to have a player push all the way up, so they knew it was absolute nonsense. They walk into A main for free. They're already rotating over to B. They knew exactly what Envy had planned. They knew that was...
I was really long-winded, I apologize. Your question was how...
This time again, it's the trap play towards B main, the expectation that maybe So Envy are probably just going to slam this. Clone goes in. They're disrespecting the one-ways, and here comes the Hunter's Fury now.
That was really long-winded. I apologize. Your question was how.
One of the NB players, but I doesn't seem to mind too much. Problem is, TSM are anchoring properly. They're willing to take these fights. And at some point, they're going to have to earn Envy's respect for this. Inspire gets his in mid, always seems to control that part of the map, and also things have fallen a little flat on the Envy side. If the gunplay can't back up the audacity, we get end round scenarios like these.
The players are quite low on HP. Inspire would have to, you know,
Wait.
find a situation where
Oh, hey friend. Oh, it's one of these spams. I can help you get 25 subscribers in 3 days.
To be cooked coming out of this choke point.
Inspire just discussing something as he tries to...
All right, TSM making this a game.
Take him out first. This is how TSM do it. It's not flashy from them. They're able to stand up, and Alvin's been pretty darn sick in these sides. In fact, he and Seven as well, fighting on that B side of the map, have looked very, very good. And one reason why this game is still as close as it is.
Yeah, we've seen a couple instances now where Alvin, crucially, has just been able to maintain backside control against a comp that is obviously going to move really fast with the Neon. On a round like that where Clove has res, they're just going to be sprinting in, taking point. And because he has backside, TSM can flood right back in.
Here's the fast lane play, and there was actually a double back there for Kane, maybe just to try and throw the timing a little bit. Timo hoping to pull up what Gimon was.
Hey Maniac, have you seen any of my new clips?
Paranoia is good. It is bloody good. And enough to allow them to win this fight out. TSM backing up their good positioning with great util use. And again, Envy have very little to say. Kane is always going to do his thing in rounds like this. You expect it. But now has to go 1v3, even with Gimon as low as he is. It's going to be tough for the Solo Neon to come up with the goods.
I was just wondering what you thought of the skits.
Such a great job setting up that crossfire, fighting in the choke. And Kane having to come through this smoke. It should be wraps. Jim D stabilizes for the team on that round. 6-6. Doesn't feel too bad if you're TSM, all things considered. Just given they had a really slow start, they lose that pistol. And then after rounds 5 and 6, kind of just felt like
It's the first totally different thing I've done.
So I think they got to be feeling pretty good about this result.
This is nice, and Seven is, pretty well appointed on his timing there. 3 players hit with that paranoia, and still, of course, Envy are going to fight for it. They still make it interesting. But that's what TSM really have to do. But that's the defense side done. Now, the one thing you've got to watch out for with this Envy team, White, is the weird timings and the pops that they take defensively. They are going to try and muddle the mixture and mess with tempo as much as possible. So TSM arguably have to be even more switched on now.
Let's see what TSM have in store for us on this attack side. They've got a couple flashes. Extra wants to take that initial oh my god! That's crazy!
Things are expensive.
Edge.
Yeah, bro got cracked. Now, Paranoia catching on the pop is going to force him back in that link direction. And Kane's a little stranded here. Yeah, were he able to win that fight? It would have been good, but Alvin's been sharp today. And he finds yet another one. 2 players up in link with the dark cover in their way. Envy, I'm sure, have played from this situation many times and know better than most. But the odds aren't great. Ion knows there's a player tucked. There always seems to be. But he has to deal with that sight presence as well. He's going to be caught on a crossfire either way. But Inspire bails him out. And here we go again. It's Envy's wild ride. And Alvin needs to lock it down. Takes a hit. Ion with the tap. Just gives a little bit of leg. Enough to keep Alvin busy. 3 bullets left, and he has more than enough. That is a bona fide USDA.
Dude, look what I just found.
4 in the pistol. And Envy snatch it up.
Honestly, a brutal watch. I mean, TSM.
You don't think so? I think 6-6 is good for TSM.
But the beef for the
Now they
shots
get to
in
be
the
on
back.
attack.
This was such a crazy opener. And then Alvin picks up 2 really nice kills.
I'm sorry, but like,
brutal, man. I mean, they just
have
missed.
like a
They just
crossfire
missed
with...
shots. It's an FPS game and they missed.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Inspire does very well to bail Ion out because he should be traded 9 times out of 10 from that spot. I mean, it's just more than slightly unlikely. It's a little absurd.
I think as well, maybe there were some body shots in there, but Ion maybe got the heal really quick as well. Would have to replay it to see, honestly.
As the timing for Inspire, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just gonna lay waste
This
to them now.
one's done.
I think Dimond,
All right, we are fully scheduled for our clips tomorrow. Let's go.
Win the pistol, and then
That was a horrible throw. A horrible throw. All right, let's see how this goes. This is a big round.
By the way, he win 8 out of 10 pistols in their best of 5 yesterday. Like, that was a huge part of them being able to
Boom, all scheduled for tomorrow.
That's right. So,
Hey Maniac, did you hear me say yesterday that the Patreon, now if free members get access to the budget spreadsheet?
and offering the same flavor. It's spicy.
They are ready to go for a large A fight, it seems. Just leaving Inspire to get all of that information towards B. Extra has the ability to teleport there and does get to Boba.
Did you also know today is World Beard Day?
Unlike Kane strays too far from this position for now. So
Yeah,
you want to try and play into this presumed mid-control that TSM have been able to gain.
They were set up for that big A fight, but because no one came early, they're rotating off pretty much straight away. But with that opening from 7, I mean, what am I watching? What am I watching? Vor down to 6.
Well, I remember he did that in A main and ended up getting 4 kills, so it's the kind of thing that you trust Kane Zero with.
He is
Big damage
in
on the
danger
second player.
of death by shock dart with popping on this site. Wow, really fast flank as well from Inspire. I like this, just getting active, trying to take a timing. Why not? You're on a free bonus round. You carried every weapon into this.
30 seconds
Just how
left.
good is Inspire? How good is his
Alvin,
vision there? That is.
he was looking at 2 different angles.
Oh, they're gonna do it again, Wyatt. Gimon, nicely done. Apparently
was-
on the run.
Vor
He's able
just
to take
so
Poppin now.
weak. Extra has a flash clone.
Uh-oh.
Bit of info.
Raham
Inspire
Pearl.
cam as well, so you can try to get some
Welcome.
information
I
on
believe
that.
that's from
It's very
Kick.
off-map, little cam.
Yep.
Pretty powerful one.
Hey buddy, I saw your channel and noticed, dude, these are all copy and paste. This is crazy, bro. Crazy, bro.
No shots connecting on a Timo as he's able to dash across, and now TSM have got pretty powerful post-plant positions, and Timo will convert. Well handled there. Those are the situations that Envy, more often than not, seem to be able to find a way through. Even with that cheeky little cam, Inspire doesn't see enough to see it coming.
Was a nice little timing for Timo to swing. Realizing that with that clove smoke coming down, Extra was definitely just going to try to immediately tap. If Kane actually gets the kill on Vor there, could be looking at a different round.
With that reposition, like crossing the site, getting an elbow, feels like it makes it almost deterministic at that point.
This is a weird buy situation. I didn't see what happened. That Poppin is left on a Marshall no armor, so bought it for someone on the last round. I didn't notice that, but now a little bit awkward for him to play this out, or that was just him fully forcing up to get the op for Eggster.
Here's the one-ways.
Hey, is this Eggster
Already set up.
the same guy who makes YouTube videos? That Eggster?
I was considering getting back in, but is going to be flashed off. Spotted by 7, is on the angle.
And he just wings it. He just takes the walk out there. It's going to be dangerous here for Poppin. Extra trying to set up with his op. Now they've got to go for it though. Kane found 2 amidst all of that. What a mess. Fast lane and play. Kane has to take some damage in order to get this position. Takes a dart out, but he's opened things up for Extra. He's gotten himself a Vandal now. They're playing together. Bora will try and work this and just straight up loses the duel. Things are looking much better now for Envy. They're going to try and double swing GMD. And there's pressure on the spike. Gimon has to convert. Low on bullets, has to reload. It's an
Yo, no way he doesn't switch to his pistol there, bro. So there's a guy named Eggster. He's a YouTube video maker. He makes a bunch of Valorant videos, but I don't know if that's the guy right there.
Op away, switch to the rifle. I'm stunned that Envy win that. 7 does a great job finding that kill onto Ion back sight. Getting that forward positioning.
It's gotta be him.
It's a great trade on, onto Inspire.
This was another absolute throw by TSM.
And Alvin's setups are pretty similar, right? Obviously, that Cypher one-way is very standard, but being able to throw your own cage down in front, layer to get in, kind of like the counter smoke, on defense side, the 6 side of Lotus. allows you to push up. Poor extra. The fire rate of the Stinger. More than he can handle before he can gate crash out. And Kaiser is stuck in that corner. Timo picks him off. This solo attack side up now having been picked up. Envy just going to let themselves get thrifty. Live by the sword, die by the sword, I guess.
Poppin', yeah, he's spotted. He's paranoid. He is going to get absolutely overrun backside.
Ooh, the double ping. Oh my goodness, Poppin'. That's a bulldog he's using. Kimon gets into the site though. Ion is good for it. In position now to take the fight against Kimon, but is he ready for this? Timing, it's just a weaker weapon for GMD. He's gonna go back and get the spike. Ion goes low. Ion has a chance to set up for this. TP across the map, Ion has to figure it out. He has to carefully clear that A side and make an informed decision. Likely he's just gonna have to wait for the spike plant queue.
Pretty unreal play from Poppin to even get this to a 1 versus 1 after Timotino just lights up Envy with a crazy individual play to start the round off. Ion wants to fully go through B main at this point.
Just how good are you, Ion? Your opponent has no armor. Kimon does have a dark cover to troll with. Ion also with a full cache of utility. No information, very little time. Smoke up the side and Kimon gonna be quick about this.
Dude!
Oh my goodness! Oh, buddy! The stars align for Ion. Unfortunately for him, or not, just able to
Bro.
1.5 seconds left in the round. Imagine if that is a little different by a second or so. Kimon maybe just gets timing pushing into that smoke.
In a vacuum, if you
That's
just
embarrassing.
Look at what TSM did that round. They're on an eco. They get 4 kills and the plant on a round where you're now, putting Envy in a position where they're going to have to fully buy down here. Pretty solid, not too bad. But when you actually look at that round in the
Yeah, they
comments,
really
so
do, man.
happened, they are going to be very sad that they lost out. What a sick play from Poppin. Just that sequence of the 3K was pretty astounding. Second shot, just midair onto the neon. He was, I believe he was pinged by either the recon or he was pinged by something, and then gets paranoid. They have his location. Crazy.
And then he darts on the side and pings 2 of the players just as they're out to push out.
Yeah, they really are. They're
At
just
that point, doesn't
dying.
actually matter. And he cleans up 2 of them in quick succession with the Bulldog. Kimon is able to intervene, but it takes some time. The damage is already done by that point. Again, look at this. Oh my God. Borad's so low after that. He ends up picking him off. Dude, like, come on. And like the timing of this is just a little uncanny. Now Ion just, gives it a tap, picks out, and has just enough time. It's like 1 second, 1.5 seconds left. That's a real thin margin. But Envy are winning rounds like that. Almost getting thrifty though. We can't leave that out.
This is a highly important buy round though. If TSM can close it out, they're going to put Envy on an eco for the next, so this could be worth 2. Both sides have very significant ultimates to play with. However, TSM, even at that, they have a bit of a leg up with the null command for 7. Maybe an opportunity to deny in a retake. Eggster using that drift or Poppin using the Hunter's Fury could just turn those off at a crucial moment.
Both teams working with a lot of potential in those ults. Just the gate crash there is a precaution for Eggster.
Yeah, it could still be a little dangerous though. When he gets out of that, he's going to be in the open.
Yeah, if they're playing link side, they'll have to literally hit the A key.
Well, he can't get out now. Yeah, he's stuck.
Alright, here's the Hunter's Fury in response. Poppin trying to see what he can dig up, and okay, we are just not checking. He's tucked inside elbow now. It's traded out. Alvin gets him.
30 seconds.
That's not really where you want to be. You just pop that null command.
Oh, that timing.
Alvin really locks that part of the map down, and Aspire thought he had an opportunity. Still a player advantage for Envy. Still a second bite of the apple for Ion if he gets popped.
Yeah, player advantage. They could have 4 players, basically. You can have Ion just sprint in first and immediately res if he dies.
Here they come. Relay ball catching on to 7. Gotta be tough to fight out of this one against the judge of all things. Kane wants to be sure. And he sees 7 revealed. Curtain comes down on him and on the round.
Man, Envy's smoking these kids, bro. Smoking them.
Really good. On the defense side, look, sort of responding to this pressure because it was telegraphed in some senses. They could have these set defensive looks, but they are being disrupted by some odd positioning and get kind of owned by that player tucked in elbow.
Envy on that round as well only end up needing to use Poppin's Hunter's Fury. He tries to go for its super long range outside of that null command radius. So now they've got ult saved up 4 heading into this next round.
Tough to win those, if you ask them. And not having to use the ults, Wyatt, you're dead right. Just Poppin's Hunter's Fury, of which he's already made 2 orbs back on. Round number 19 coming at you, Envy. Getting close now. TSM's economy benefiting from lost bonus, but still not looking to flash.
I can see information on to Inspire. Trips are going to be down, but...
What? Wait!
Yeah, no.
Maybe sneak up on that. I respect it, but yeah, pinged out.
Surely he doesn't survive.
But he's still got his, despite that. Still getting some value. Oh, Poppin is sharp as attack. Okay, pack it the heck up.
Yikes.
TSM run into the firing line, and Envy do not miss this time.
This one is...
Alright, at least this is Envy's map.
As good as done at this point. Envy gets some early control towards A. Even with TSM being able to connect that
This
0
is
point
probably a
onto
GG's.
Inspire, turn off the trips. He gets his, honestly lives for a fair amount of time where he's just distracting, buying some time. TSM are really slow to get out of main
Crypto, hello? Hit a site that has less than 3 people? Yeah.
Okay, Kane just wants to be done with this, apparently. Takes no damage there from Alvin. And runs into a double face here from TSM. Also, Poppin was felled. Extra, though, pretty pleased, I think, to come out of that exchange, not having taken a bullet himself either. Gets those numbers evened up. Spike, though, definitely en route towards A in halls. Plenty of time, though, for this setup, and maybe even a play through the backside, because Alvin is dead. Nothing watching the flank.
And another retake where Envy do have that sort of man advantage. If Ion runs in, gets the res off.
Okay, does the gate crash into the back corner of the side? Oh, I know something nonsensical's about to go down. Exeter sees Timo come, loses it out. Okay, now to be on Ion. It's ultimate less relevant in this kind of situation. Timo would know how to govern this situation. And Ion just shuts him down. It's sheer individual brilliance from basically every member of this Envy squad at different times that nets them a comfortable 13-7 win to open the series.
It really did feel like legitimately every single player had highlight reel moments.
Ion does not care.
One of them taking over.
Yeah, it's funny. He's a kid. I think it's Ion 2X. Maybe he's an adult now, but he's got a brother, I believe. Is that Curry's brother?
Allows them to win a
Yo, what's up, Bright?
rounds where on paper you're looking at it and they have such a low chance of doing so, but it is simply never the case with them. They pull out so many insane moments as always.
I mean, you say that almost with a sound of resignation, but I mean, that's the beauty of these Envy games.
Oh, it is, and it's fun. It is very fun to watch every single time.
Sometimes they get thrifty, sometimes they're thrifty. There's a sense of volatility they introduce to their game that you really don't get to see anywhere else, but more often than not, it gets harnessed to their favor. Some huge clutches. I think I'm just going to break it down in just a moment. So stick around, of course. A bit of a beating given out there on Sunsetters. That's, Envy's map pick locked up to start this BO5. Stick around to see how the next one goes down. We are heading off to Haven after this, but first we'll hear from our experts.
Ooh, that is Curry's brother. Curry is sorry? Who's sorry? Yo, Bright, how was your day? How was your night? Are Vanguard the big bogeyman everyone claims they are that owns everything, or just a corporate giant but no more scary than Microsoft? Yeah, I don't have any NDA stuff. So the difference between Vanguard and, say, a BlackRock or something similar is that Vanguard is client owned. Vanguard doesn't have outside shareholders. So Vanguard's only responsibility is to their shareholders, not to outside shareholders, if that makes sense. So, yep, they own a lot, but they are different. And today has been awesome, right? Went out with the family this morning, figuring out our new normal with 4 kids. And what's BlackRock? I only know the names due to conspiracy theorists. Conspiracy theories are some of my favorite topics, Bright. Feel free to bring those up. As long as I won't get canceled or taken out, I'm down to talk about anything. So BlackRock is just another investment firm. They're huge as well. And I don't know for certain, but I believe that their real estate's different. Like BlackRock buys individual homes, whereas Vanguard doesn't. Stuff like that.
First map of the best of 5 grand finals, and we go to Sunset. This has been strong for Envy in the past, and that's going to hold true on the day as well, with the 13-7 victory to be kicking off the series right up 1-0. I mean, looking at this map, yeah, TSM, they've played more recently. Yeah, they've had this run through the lower bracket, but Roy, getting into the first map, it was an Envy that was comfortable, confident.
All right, who's we, Maniac? Who's we?
I feel like there was actually like a match of like styles, right? Where like TSM was forcing so many fights and they were willing to team brawl and they're actually winning a lot of them. But I feel like Envy from the beginning of the round, they were a lot better on the openers. They were getting a lot more successful with finding their first picks. That helped them a lot. And when it came down to the clutches, guys, it felt like Envy was also a bit ahead of on TSM. They closed out so many more late rounds. They closed out so many more clutches, and all of these little factors ended up giving Envy the edge that they needed to have a nice, comfortable finish in this first map.
I really like that recovering to the first half for TSM when it was 6-3, and on that run, Tim, you see them how they start to anchor a little bit more into that B side. It worked out really well, especially with what Seven was doing, hiding inside of that smoke towards market, popping the flash out, getting 2-3 kills, and it seems like they had found a solution. But as we go into that second half, TSM only secured a single round. They could not get anything going, and they had a lot of opportunities to.
Yeah, dude, TSM threw so many rounds in the second half. That's crazy.
Every single one of them. One of them is something that Mitch and Wyatt were talking about, that round 17, that eco, where it's an eco round. You know that the chances of winning it are low, but they start at 3v5 for TSM. It seems like they could turn it around, and then Poppin gets a 3k. It turns into a 1v1 towards that B side as the spike gets planted, and then
yo, what's up, Soft?
That seems like that was the turning point. That
what is up, brother?
TSM to get a few more rounds, to get something going into the second half, and it was just not the case at all.
And you look at the scoreline, you see 13-7, but I feel like there were so many opportunities for TSM to actually have made this either one, a lot more of a competitive map, or two, have possibly maybe had it in their favor. Like the 4v2 pistol in the second half as well. It was a 4v2, guys. I mean, that's an opportunity right there to get some rounds back into your favor. Then you consider that, you consider the ion clutches like Dan was saying, and now you have this like so many rounds that could have easily gone TSM's way that just did not finish in their favor, and it was just Envy that was just so
Yes,
much more
if they
consistent.
lose
A lot
Haven,
of
it
a
is
lot of the micro
Jover.
situations just kept going their way.
A consistency that you see across the board as well. I mean, everyone just having big step-ups throughout the map. But Dan, again, Ion, you're talking about those clutch situations, and an Ion, too, that has been cooking so much. Like, performance from this young player was just incredible. And, I mean, from all of Envy as well.
It was really good, and it's one of the players that we mentioned before because he's kind of playing his own game when it comes to the controllers. I mean, if him picking Clovier doesn't tell you enough, I don't know what will, but it's just really well, very fast paced, so they don't need to worry about the timings for those smokes. And for Ion, he's always that one man that we were talking about was staying alive until the end, whether it was a pistol or the two back-to-back rounds that he had to win towards that B side. He's very good, very consistent, and incredible aim. Just like everybody in this team, is just so scary to see the way that he's finding these openings. And for TSM, like you were saying, Roy, just kind of slipped through their fingers.
Yeah, but just kind of circling back to the mechanics, I feel like everyone in this lobby is locked in. Like, mechanically, they all look so insane. The players on Envy, even the players on TSM, like, everyone is just so on point with the mechanics. We've seen very rarely any whiffs in this entire series. We've seen so many clean multi-frags that were literally split-second kills. There's absolutely mechanical animals in the server right now, and I feel like when players are playing to this level, it's really the strategy.
Give me one sec. I'll be right back.
Minute details that are gonna decide these maps.
I mean, I'd love to hear about a TSM being locked in, because down one now, looking to the second map to try and maybe make up a little bit more of this momentum. It's going to be tough, though, because looking at the second map in the series, this is strong for both of the teams. TSM definitely have a lot more reps on this, but I look back at Envy, and I don't think this is really weak for them either.
Yeah, absolutely. I can see why TSM picked this, though. It was one of the wins that they had against Envy. They've also taken down Cuber on that map. They've actually looked quite phenomenal all around on the Haven side. So again, not surprised to see them pick it. I am, wondering how they're going to be playing on their defensive sides. But when you look at the statistics, it feels like TSM is very comfortable on that defense. They have figured out something that's allowing them to have that edge on that side. They have a 66% win rate on that defense side, guys, in terms of win percentages, in terms of round percentages as well. So I feel like TSM, they kind of knew what they're coming into. It's a comfort map for them. Yeah, Envy does not look weak whatsoever, but I think they're leaning more into the fact that, one, they've already taken down Envy on that map before. So they kind of have an idea, or sorry, they actually lost Envy. I have it reversed in my head, excuse me. But yeah, they kind of have an idea of how Envy wants to approach it. And I feel like they're going to come in, they know exactly what to expect, and they're just going to lay out the game plan, and they're going to try to execute as best as possible.
As you're saying, Roy, one of the things that we got the chance to see was this Envy taking this map of Haven 13-9 the first time that they face each other here in playoffs. So I mean, even then, I really like this map on the side of TSM, and it's something that we've been talking about in the past couple of days because of how good the defense looks. They have a very clear understanding on the ways that they want to set up Seven, they want the way that he's going to be playing this side, also Alvin Boy and the role that he has in this map that I feel like is very similar to what we see Inspire do here as well. They're constantly trying to get space, and when they get punished, then you see a little bit of a change of plan. Before Inspire, he gets punished, he's going to do it again, and it's going to work out. It's going to work out no matter what, which seems like it's what happened in that first opening matchup for playoffs. But this time around, I want to see the improvement on this matchup specifically for TSM because I do really like this map from them. But I want to see more layers when it comes to what they're going to bring to the attack side. The defense is great. The defense, they're able to hold down and put that pressure towards A side as well. They are able to stack and anchor towards C. But yeah, it gets a little tough when you need a couple more layers to make sure that the attack side works out in the same way that it was lacking in last time.
And on that note, I'm kind of wondering as well, like, have they kind of figured out how Inspire likes to play this map on the defense side as well? Because it feels like when you're watching the matches, it almost feels like Inspire's entire kit is on his site. Like there's almost nothing for Garage, there's almost nothing for the B site. It's usually either all C or all A, and that, I mean, that you should have a read on that. You should kind of have an idea of how Inspire likes to approach things. So hopefully when it comes to that attack side, when TSM's on it, they kind of, you know, they know where to allocate some of the shocks, they know how to minimize some of Inspire's, you know, gadgets and kind of weaken it, or at least know where the gaps are so they can push and pull correctly to try to get Envy to be thin on the defensive side.
I'm gonna be honest, this
Feel bad for
just
Penny?
feels like a turning point for me. It has
But right now
to be a
Apex
TSM win,
only has
or
Penny on the
it's
roster.
probably going to be a 3-0.
What I heard was
And
BlackRock
they are
owns
so
both the
big,
normal
they're so
shampoo
young,
stuff
they
that
already
supposedly
won
damage
against
hair,
them before.
and then
They
own the
won the
companies with the
grand final
sensitive
again.
skin.
Haven is
Yeah.
the strongest
So
map for TSM to make sure that it's 1-1 to make
I don't
sure
want to
that
speak
plays
too
better.
much
As I mentioned,
on
it's either
BlackRock
the
and their
3-0
potential
for
for
Envy, or
bad
it's going to
stuff,
be
but
potentially all of the
they just
maps
own
that
everything.
TSM are able to secure this one.
That's how all these companies are.
I mean,
The more
TSM, they
assets a
definitely
company
have the tools
has,
in the toolbox to be
the
able to get
more
it done, even if
of
it was a loss up against
certain
Envy
companies
last time,
or
it was
industries that
decently
they own.
close, and I feel like Envy
Like, I don't know how much
they
BlackRock
played
is
even,
a
but some teams have
controlling
kind of
member.
figured it
Hey,
out a
what's
little
up,
bit.
Nightlights?
That's why we have gotten to see an Envy punish here, and if TSM have done their homework, we
Way
know
out.
they have the micro in the server to be able to get it done. It's whether you can execute and punish on the day to try and take this victory and to even up this series. Looking at Haven as well, talking about the agents, the fact that we've seen so much
Cannot
recent
stay away
history
from them just
these
because
two
people don't
teams,
like them.
I feel
Yeah,
like this is
I mean,
definitely
honestly,
all
I
that
would
we're anticipating
I would
this
do most of my
matchup from,
investing
which is
with
exciting now alongside
Vanguard
of
because I
TSM,
trust them.
because this is a map where
But
Timotino
it could
has
be,
this opportunity to go absolutely crazy. You want to talk about a punish
I don't know,
onto Envy?
all of them.
It could be right
All of
there.
them
Getting into the
give you a
agent
certain
slot.
feeling.
Dan, can Timotino single-handedly deal with this firepower that Envy has?
I hope so. At least for this match, that is what my expectation is going to be like. We talked about it yesterday, and it continues to be the case.
Joe
It's
Walker
been
subscribed on
great
YouTube.
player
Let's go.
When it comes to the stats and the things that he has been doing, and that is better stats than Kane's era and that Exter. It's one of the points that we touched on early on that I feel like it becomes even more relevant as we go into this match. But it's not going to be easy. The thing about Envy is that they completely overwhelm you no matter what you're trying to do. You have a setup with Timotino and Vora and 7, and it usually gets shot down immediately by what the things that Envy have been planning out. So it's a game of being one step ahead of what Envy has been bringing for TSM to get this win.
Now, I want to see how Seven's going to be utilizing the breach kit, guys. I feel like the meta of, you know, breaches stunning early is kind
Found
of
today that
long
my
now. It
crypto
feels like
friend
a lot of
is
the
now
breaches on this map have
broke.
sort of just been holding
What did he
their
do?
shots, holding their flashes, kind of
What happened,
waiting to
Soft?
execute at the right time, disrupt executes, disrupt the splits, fight into re-clears, kind of fight off the drones, like kind of just like synergize their utility a lot more than just like send it early for as a Hail Mary and kind of just run it down. I feel like that meta's long gone now. So my eyes are on to see how Seven's going to manage that. And of course, there's a ton of pressure on Alvin Boy, right? Because Envy is a huge push and pull team. They like to draw you extremely thin on your defensive sides and kind of just overwhelm you with the ISO, overwhelm you with the Yoru utility. So I'm looking to see how Alvin's going to be holding it down on that defensive side as well.
A lot of pressure on the side of TSM with Haven looming. This might be a must win if they want to try and prolong this series. Time to see if getting to Haven, they have enough to do what can be done and try and take Haven.
2 months
in this
ago, he had just
rematch.
under
Let's get to
200K.
that and see. Find out with your
Yo.
casters, Uber and Wyatt.
Did he start doing a bunch of crazy stuff? Buying altcoins, meme coins, and then boom.
Dryad was refusing to mince words, saying that if this isn't a successful outing for TSM, then a 3-0 is very much on the cards. And Wyatt, I think at points we got to see the weaknesses on his Envy side, and it was clear to see that TSM could only really exploit them when they were having some very, very sharp rounds themselves. If they falter in some of these,
Did Trump coin fail?
Really assert themselves, anchor sites, and just throw down and have good crossfires. Even if Envy like makes some mistakes, maybe take some undue risks, they are hard to punish.
I'm really interested to see how this game compares to TSM against Core yesterday, because TSM were struggling a little bit on attack, and then they ran away with the game on defense. Core were playing very straightforward. They were just sight slamming, especially on A. I feel like we can expect that from Envy here on attack.
It was an interesting call for sure. An interesting call for sure.
You know, a sizable firepower difference, especially you know, on today specifically, where it looks like all 5 players are hitting, right? But TSM did such a great job of dealing with those big executes that I feel like they've got a great shot at taking this map.
Good opener here. 3 push down mid. Set up with a fault line. Great util from 7 to put his team in a more commanding position early on in the round. That's Iron and Nexter already having fallen by the wayside. Inspire, as always, is asking for more and more on these extremities, but opts not to commit to this A side. And even the spike in the hands of Poppin is being brought out of that sewer zone.
And what can Envy do
Windy
now?
Weather
This game
Live,
actually just get this free kill. Yeah,
93,
Will 7
huh?
was fully exposed, was opting to
If
play
you're a
all
bot,
angle
you're getting
rather
banned.
than full
Account created
overtime.
10 hours ago, huh?
Got
Banned.
Garage control does for you, man. That is
Kimon gets caught just going for the solo walk down.
sound made by Alvin here as well. Envy are just, again, so unpredictable in this late round. TSM not really sure. They can't check every bloody corner on their way in. Looks like Vora is finally gifted a half-decent timing, but the double-tap shield comes out on Alvin. Is taken down to 33. A verifiable one-shot. And that's another pistol here coming up for Envy. So hard to call, and TSM want to be proactive. They try to. And it looks pretty ironclad. Fold line straight down mid, set a 3-player push, and they win that engagement. And then it falls apart.
Did they get that great opening? Boy, you said it. It's the unpredictability from Envy late in that round. They are all over the map. TSM do not know where to play. 7 had no idea that someone could be coming all the way wrapped back C, or he definitely would have just been tucked in the close corner, right? So TSM just get completely scrambled as to where Envy could be. All isolated little one-off moments where TSM players are kind of caught alone. Now they are relegated to 5 sad classics. Envy have won every pistol so far in this series, and they've also flawlessed every second round. Oh, not going to be the case here.
Now, double tap not going to help him there at all. Extra at the door catches Kimon. Pop of course. Yeah,
Yep,
why not with the Ares in a round like
Ares.
this? Very reasonable.
Oh my God.
Inspires the ghost player, so isn't as well armed as the rest of his team.
All right.
1 kill, 7. I'm sure is very pleased.
They won a round. They were unexpected. Let's go.
Kind of going greed mode there. Kane does have the shield active, so he's just feeling max out confidence to walk through the smoke, but doesn't check the corner. Goes down for free, throws a Spectre over to one of the TSM players, who then...
Who do you want to win, Maniac?
Opposite Link. Just do a great job flooding in 3 of them. Look at the minimap right now. They are overwhelming Eggster. And from there, they overwhelm Poppin. It's just the raw numbers. Everyone jumping together with those classics.
Now that I'm in control, Envy at least going to be able to get in here. Inspires the one with the stinger.
Yeah, because he had the ghost.
Wait, why not? Too young or what?
A light investment here.
Hey, from above, a bit awkward for Timo. Has to get off that line. Once more, Envy with just a timing that is hard to predict, but a good recovery. Composure regained for Timo. And the shorty brought to bear.
Nice little flawless.
Round now for TSM. As Envy tries something a little cheeky with a walk up onto A.
Also with Vora racking up that triple is just
Wow, that's crazy.
Fury, so could definitely see a situation where over towards
Okay, so yesterday I saw people talking about that if Envy wins, they're going to have to make roster changes. I thought it was because Kane was going to get picked up by someone else, but really it's because they can't play at all. Nice!
Weird for Timo because he was not watching that push into A main and had to take an unscoped shot. Well done though, being able to recover so quickly. Once again, the players over towards the A side of the map. Envy dealt with this a lot against Core. But remember, contingency can allow you to cover a lot of ground. Kane has maintained it here, so it could be used to sort of bully up onto the A side and take some of this space away from Tino.
Oh, that's
for
smart.
free.
Just uses that shorty long range to break the shield. So that's not going to be a factor for Kane the rest of this round. Repush from TSM towards short. Look at Vora, he's getting tucked very close here. Solo as well.
Okay, Crash. Unclear what the idea is supposed to be. Vora playing forward means that it's not a simple matter of getting a split onto A. Okay, Crash is now expired. Paranoia. Vora going to play close to make sure he can still play through this to some degree. 7 flashed up, and Iron's going to win that fight now in Skewers. Here's 7 with the Odin, as per usual. Like a game of Claw.
Oh, he whiffed.
In the kitchen with a candlestick every single time. Inspire at least emerges, getting 2 kills, but the spike is a long way away. Has his
All right, let's go.
Alvin, but not expecting him to be on that corner.
The Odin goat
TSM
is soft.
with a bit of a roll. Couple guns kept through that round. The Odin, of course, maintained. And you better know. That'll be
Brock wishes he could be soft.
Kind of feeling like shades of that core game yesterday. TSM do a really fantastic job of anchoring this A site, getting it stacked up with 3 players at the right time. You get that pretty standard execute from Envy over there, where you have Eggster teleport really deep into Hell while Kane pushes front site. They even lost a Vora towards Sewer, but ultimately that's not enough damage done for Envy. And they're on to another Thrifty.
Aldrone here. Potentially going ahead of him into Garage. So control that part of the map maintained, and instantly Timo's going to respond. Try and find a line here, but he's not quick enough. Kane there gets the double tap renewed and is off to the races. Now Seven's going to be under some pressure. Just able to hold up though, despite that. Even hit with the undercut. Pretty important 2 kills to take, but Envy always...
Yes, it is. Every bullet that lands.
And Iron is waiting for Alvin to give him a little bit more. Vora with the Hunter's Fury, but there's Ion on the swing. Poppin able to avoid that last shot. The kept alive and player advantage maintained for Envy.
Is GMD going to expect this reflank from Inspire? It doesn't look like he will, unless that timing is so sick. It's all left on Vora. Players for Envy are pretty low on HP.
He's going to go out and check this manually. I don't know to what degree Envy are expecting this, but there has to be some sort of diffuse attempt, and Vora doesn't have the bandwidth to go around the corner and look a little bit deeper. So he's going to have his back turned to the plate, and he realizes it'd be better to try and get out. On Ion's too quick with it. There it is, yet another pure Thrifty from Envy. Getting that garage control and flooding.
And then late in the round, kind of feels like the pistol round they were able to win, right? Where they're just all over the map. And after Kane gets that initial kill from Garage, they have Ion chilling in there for a while, catches Alvin, Inspires reflanking through C. Gets the kill on a GMD, and even if he doesn't, he does so much damage. Ion probably would have been able to trade that easy. They just end up being so spread across the map that TSM don't know where to look.
And that is a smoke from the Garage direction, so Envy definitely want to make this one happen quickly. Kane wins his fight. Hunter's Fury also active. Inspire.
Especially the op and Odin. Yeah, the op definitely tilts people as well.
Here by TSM. Now Seven can sit back and ease into that Odin gameplay. As Envy for now will be held to just those 2 rounds.
I think Envy are going to need to slow the game down. You're not going to beat TSM on Haven by just hard hitting these sites, especially not against Seven carrying the Odin right now and just lighting them up. This is what TSM excel at, anchoring against these big executes. 2 rounds that Envy have won have come from slowing the game down, getting weird flanks off, inserting players into unorthodox positions. I think that's going to be the key for them to win this out. They have to slow the game down a bit, which is very un-Envy-like, but they're going to need to do so.
Info into the back of the site. That's Gimon. That's going to cancel that.
And that allows the... Oh my god, classic Kane. I mean, that's a classic Kane move right there.
That is so disrespectful. Gets himself a Phantom.
Oh, he was ready for that.
And that's apropos of nothing, folks. He's just hoping that he has a timing. And Envy have slowed it down, I guess. I think the kill contract really threw this round for a loop. And that's Clone. Alvin shows himself, but still is able to claim extra. Technically has the drop on him. We have a spike down, though. That is a situation TSM have found themselves in far too many times on this defense side. And Alvin, stretched thin, picked off. Undercut comes in. Timo suppressed down. And here's the Odin spam. Pretty scary when it's in the hands of the attackers now. As Envy get themselves that crucial round. Sort of bounding off an earlier Thrifty. And Kane doing Kane things once again.
Yeah, they don't, you know, slow the game down to some crazy extent, but they do throw a very cool round in the mix there. Using the from the shadows to ping out a player. Classic Kane using the stinger in the kill contract to run someone down and upgrade to their rifle. But then also in the meantime, Envy, like those 2 other rounds they won, are working the map in other places. Eggster gets all the way to Gong back B, Inspires on a reflank over towards A Link. Look at this. They're just purely selling a fake with this dimensional drift towards A right now. All of the other Envy players towards C.
He stuck it for but a moment. That's definitely going to catnip the players over at the A side for now. Contingency will allow Envy to get into the site. Double tap, pretty good ability, I'm not going to lie. It is pretty sweet in moments like this, and Kane is going to refresh it. Site cracked open. TSM a long way away, and somehow Inspire is in yet another dirty little spot in this B side.
We're getting all of Kane's greatest hits right now, back to back.
Yeah, Envy seems to be finding the rhythm.
To the buying the Odin on attack haven and just jumping around corners and into smokes.
Yeah, they're kind of hogging the jukebox, Wyatt, but I'll allow it because it's bloody entertaining. This has turned into a save pretty quickly for TSM. Exeter stuck the dimensional drift, pops up on the A side for a moment, fires some shots, then gate crashes out. Devin's not watching for this. Oh, that is an expensive gun to have clatter on the ground.
Inspire has so much money, no reason not to hunt. Force a pricey rebuy.
Yeah, if they lose this, it's going 4-6.
Layers that Envy have. And that really is the juxtaposition between them now and where they were at the beginning of the year. Where they were white hot, just running teams over, but then ran into troubles in their first playoff. Back in stage 1, and then you can just see the advancements that they've made as a team since then. Let's see if they can handle this A pressure if they try to really get into lobby here. Everybody from TSM ready to fight.
Okay, this time contingency is going to be used for main control, but Kane's not ready to have his gum up in time. Still, and be able to get some value out of that. Kangdira lost 7, also picked off, so that Brim stalled util no longer on the table. Often, frankly, seems to win another one here. It's a big ask. Takes a bunch of damage through the wall. Ion concerned about a play from Link here. The side started filling up now with TSM defenders. Inspire is here. Oh, is he here, man? He's in the walls. Brother is just finding foxholes at every opportunity. And so Vora, Vinny before, similar situation, pinged out by the neural theft, now has to approach this B site and say his prayers.
That is such an insane like from Inspire, but it's just the knowledge that we have from that A clash that, wait, hold up, the entire team is stacked there. All right, great moment for Inspire to take control elsewhere on the map, go for another crazy flank. Yeah, I think that was all the way
Was he up garage?
Back B.
Oh yeah,
it was either it was the garage. It is crazy.
I mean, he also knows that Alvin's too busy to check cam. He's in an active engagement, so he just walks straight past it. Oh. Okay, that is brutal. A chance here for Envy to really open up the game. Only, of course, a couple rounds left in the half. TSM have had to pay the piper and go down to this pistol-based
Look at the mini-map right now. Everybody on TSM are real close to this C site if Envy just try to get in. Oh, but the timing seemed to be going their way.
It's too free, man. Fire walks up just as Timon was trying to set something up on the side, and yeah.
You.
It's either TSM, Envy getting thriftied or having a flawless on rounds like this. There is genuinely no in between.
Yeah, Envy, they, after a string of rounds where they do allow time for Inspire to work the map, they're not going for these big executes. They then just mix one in when they know TSM are going to be on an eco, and they can just batter them down with the better weapons.
Jada!
For Kane. So they just
I don't know, man. TSM threw a bunch of rounds in the first map too, man.
TSM that they could be going for that at any given moment. Looking here at the ultimate status when we get back into this, Kane is 1 away from getting the kill contract. I think it was Poppin is 1 away from getting the Hunter's Fury, so can definitely play to getting those orbs as a win con. Probably the one on C if they do intend on trying to get an early orb. It's mostly just been Alvin playing on that side of the map, so they won't really get heavily contested, whereas, on A, you don't want to be dealing with the breach and the Soba util.
Actually, they may be a little unwell based on how he's trying to massage the sinuses. Wouldn't show in game. It's definitely something afoot. Got a bit of coach cam here. Yeah, NBS at God knows what hour of the night, and I suspect in Lithuania, has been coaching TSM on this run so far, and he's done his job. He'll be there with them in Sao Paulo, I imagine.
We can find out. It is midnight over there in Lithuania.
I'll do it. Nicely done. We get MBS on camper. I'm here for the coach campaign. Yeah, give me that zoom in. Sheesh. I love it.
He sends group at champs. No, I didn't.
Down the game by it. This is
it crazy?
a round that feels emblematic of that.
Kane is able to get that kill contract.
VLR changed their stuff here.
And he just doesn't lose.
Well, I see they're playing Giant X to begin.
Going to be surrounded. I mean, that's a pretty bad time for him to be ambling out on the side.
Paper X.
It's really stunning.
Man.
What a cool play. To start early on C, get the orb over to Kane so he has the kill contract.
Well, better that than Group C. Group C looks like the death group.
Side of the map, re-clear with the drone, kill contract, kill. And then after
imagine being Group C, bro.
To just activate into C with Eggster. Poppin has already worked his way back there, and then Inspire is on a late flank as well if they need him. It's really excellent stuff how they're just working the entire
I hope not.
There.
And this, I think, only informs our discussion at the start of this series, right? About Envy having a legitimate edge in the macro gameplay as well. And it's why we've seen so many blowout series from them. This is a great situation where they kind of, you know, your advice also was probably the same came from Stunner, I think, during that NBS timeout. But we can work the map and we can really make use of the creativity that Inspire has to sort of find these timings.
TSM falling apart.
This one, there might be a little bit more brass tacks, I feel. Contingency, Clone walks through. There was an undercut there, and it's awkward for Timotino. He's got to reposition, but he exposed himself entirely to Eggster. Bro just flattens him. And these are the kind of rounds you be having against Envy. Builds their confidence. Game starts to get away from you pretty quickly when it looks like this.
7 is waiting for so long. The Inspire flank is going to come inevitably. He does catch him out, but the rest of the team are just...
How's life treating you, Jada? How's the new job, brother?
Sign of breach util.
Did it start already?
Nice kill to find. Still has the full kit if he needs it. Or he can just spam.
He's
another good option.
Poppins is playing post plant. Staying tucked. Swings out.
Phew, start the 29th. All right, so you got a nice little break here. What are you doing with your time? Or are you still working the old job?
Envy pull ahead there, getting 6 rounds in a row, including, of course, taking the pistol, which they, you know, probably get thrifted on, but that's more of a footnote here in the overall story.
Envy at the very end, mix up the pace, go for a C-slam where they have the hunter.
Okay. So you're doing the job where you're going to manage. I like that. You get some understanding of the job.
Bash up, draft out the way. He's exposed. He goes down easily. From there, things just cascade, kill after kill. Envy make a great adjustment on round 5 after losing those 3 to TSM. They totally run away with the half. And it was yesterday, TSM attack is where they struggled. They made the comeback, you know, on defense to be core.
And like we mentioned, Timotino's got some of the best stats of the playoffs so far, but really only gets those performances when, to a degree, he's allowed to. He has not been able to play his game so far. Here's Envy trying to lock things down. Eggster, though, got lit by a dart straight out of Garage Load. Comes Kane, and he's ready to fight. Of course, that double tap should give him some equity, but he's out of the...
You got to know this dude's backside. They have to know, right? Exactly what's a new field for me.
An opportunity, but that
Just been slammed with that, plus the move. I like it. How far did you move?
Swing here for the other side of the box, and it does come. 7 gets there. We have a TSM pistol round. Finally getting one of those on the board.
Timotino getting some nice kills. I think that was someone pinged up with the recon, right? That initiator util pays off. Yeah, that is their first one of the series. After
an hour north from where I've been the last 10 years. Okay. Is it a nicer area? Like, are you happy about the move?
Got the opener here, and Kane was able to play out of Garage, but...
Yeah, it was that good late recon that gives Timotino a free one through the smoke.
All right, so 3 rounds in it. TSM able to make up a little bit what was lost in the second half of their defense side. Now they always got to be wary of the thrifty potential. Poppin is playing awfully far up in this smoke, and Gimon has to be ready for a timing to be taken. Poppin, though, doesn't
Okay. Love your house with the area as a slight downgrade.
So
All right.
long as TSM don't head over towards B, where they have a trap set up.
The money gets upgraded.
Just ready to send out
The house is awesome, but the area is
They should be okay.
Yeah, look, this is the cost
older
of
part of
investment.
Florida, but I moved out of Naples, which I've been rated the best city to live in.
In that corner, clean work with the classic close.
Yeah,
Now
that's
they've got
tough.
Cantwell
Going from a
Cantwell
goat town to a regular town is tough.
in a round like this can actually get him in fighting form. But Alvin watching that heaven position. The rest of this should flow pretty standard.
Yeah, at this point, should be
5 gifted to the community if
7 would
Envy
love to get a
pulls
couple
us
of those
out.
Kills and get close to that rolling thunder if possible. Smoke to cut off the angle from hell, but
40 cents.
Yeah, we're still just trying to get him with classics, so
Yeah.
you know.
And I
It's
want to
a
watch
wrap.
Inspire's movements a little bit because I do feel you feel a little bit more changed sometimes as that Cypher player on this map.
I just sort of assemed you were a Tesla guy, Jada.
Advisable the best of times, and often you're going to be checked by the opponent's Cypher's trapwire. Right? There was one, in C long that Inspire couldn't really push past. So feels like he'll be a little bit more chained on this half, and not able to get away with the nonsense that he did. But perhaps he'll still look for windows in order to push off, get that free information, and allow Envy to.
Love muscle cars. Which one's your favorite? Do you have a car? Yo, really? Tell me what 3 you have, and what's one that you want. My wife loves Firebirds. Not for any particular reason. She's just always liked them since she was a kid, so... If we ever grab an old school car, we'll be grabbing a Firebird.
Fault line from 7 is just a
Give me
little
1
bit
sec here.
and Poppin is unaffected. So yeah, a bit of aggression. I'd say so. Nose is up against the barrier on the A side, and main control is already in Envy's hands. As Timo walking up, and Kane Zero just slaps him down instantly. A lot more of a garage focus from Envy than we maybe saw from TSM, and we know that because Inspire managed to get up there more often than not.
Feels a little reckless there from TSM, honestly. Just dry peeking in the garage before the dark cover goes down window. Also, Vora has the drone, but it's not even used, so...
Cover going up.
Timotino just wanders right into the crosshair. Alvin wants to activate towards a long extra. Take the fight, teleport away. What a lovely little peek.
Yeah, there was only 2 players at A. Envy can't set up a crossfire there at all. Poppin has to watch sewer. So moments like that from your Cypher are going to be pretty crucial. Kane's going to go looking here. As Aldrone, though, will make it somewhat awkward. There'll be a follow-up, and he knows it, and he can't quite master his aim when it counts. So garage control, and there's that dark cover you were looking for earlier on. The implication, of course, is that there's a C-split active, but we know better. TSM now, slowly.
30 seconds left.
All right. 72 Pontiac Ventura, 305.
Yeah, should be going
93
to
Fox
A.
Body.
You
Ooh.
would presume if they were headed towards C, there would have been more.
Yeah, those sound awesome.
Inspire would have seen something. The Cam would have seen something. Can Ion get here in time to play off of Poppin?
Oh, people paranoid. Just live with it. His crosshair was placed for the A main. But oh, look at that trend. He goes towards the left. The spray was coming straight through the smoke at him. And so instinctively...
No way they lost it.
You can't teach that.
Ion really comes up there just by giving the smoke to Poppin.
It's funny, Ion does things that you do in ranked, and it's working.
So powerful on Haven. It has just become the standard of play on that A site. Being able to cut off short and anyone from, long that would be on default, so no one can shoot you when you're tucked in that corner where Poppin is at. It's just so good. Ion with a very intelligent play.
I think you can't teach that. I kind of hope he does, honestly. Get yourself one of those guides, but great movement there from Poppin just to know he'd be spammed in that corner. And he's hit by the paranoia. Fault line also came through, so just pretty impressive situation to play out.
They play like anti-ranked.
Oh, God, he gets that? Surely. Yeah, Timo's going to make sure he extends around the corner. Now, second player at B would have made that pretty disastrous for TSM, but we'll let it go.
That is some pretty crazy aggression from Ion, not gonna lie. And the neural theft gets popped because that corpse is just exposed in the mid. Well, TSM are where the B is a little bit free. C, not so much. Timotino is on a solo mission. And it is drawing the attention of Envy. I mean, if you look at the mini-map, Kane is out of there. He's going towards A. unless
I
one
like
of
the
these
style of
trips,
play where you
know,
just
gets
play to your
ran
comforts,
into
to
on site
superior.
and Inspire gets free
Play
kill,
natural.
should be able to get the plant.
Spy is patient here, though. Alvin set up a candle with the backside, so we'll be able to check and quite a
Here's
push
them
up out.
both leaving long. Inspire has the info that, you know, backside they can just run in.
I don't know about this one, Wyatt. I'm not sure. Flash to keep them in covey. Oh, the contingency. Pretty good. Now, swing out from Alvin, though. Inspire is very, very low. Kane gets it to half. But they need a little bit more. They're out of juice in terms of that utility. Spire ultimately is an easy pickup, but he is Kane. Controlling space like only need.
Yo, GMD.
Good movement from Gimon there. Punishes that reload timing.
It's very true. Kill them all before they kill you.
Feather in their cap is now that Econ from Envy is being stretched to its limit.
Don't think he realized he had only 3 other bullets remaining, or he definitely would not have been going for the reload. This was crazy from Ion to get that aggro solo down mid. And Timotino alone did get the rotates off C.
Conversion,
not too bad. Not too bad.
Oh god, I see where this is going.
If this is a kill contract with the Ares, that's we're doing the most with that one. Yeah, and Papa tries to get into that smoke long again this time. Punished.
Honestly, good intuition from Gimon, because last time Poppin did that walk up on a pistol, he backed out. So Gimon is still pretty convinced that he is in there on this occasion, and he's proven right. What's the window for this kill contract if this is the kind of round for it? Kane doesn't appear to be playing.
Surely it's not going to be, unless things somehow get down to the wire, some sheriff shots are hit, maybe he gets a weird spam kill somewhere.
Honestly,
you really don't want to be with an Ares in the kill contract. It doesn't work like a stinger. You don't want to be running, gunning with it.
Just the double tap, I think, with an LMG is really
not the undercut into the spam.
Good fault line. It's going to stifle Kane really.
He was ready for it.
Goes for it, drops out of heaven, downed by the other LMG. Nine inside the smoke, has to emerge at some point, and Gimon is ready for it. Looks like TSM starting to get a little bit more of a feel for this. This is a thrifty attempt from Envy, so don't read too heavily into it. Inspire, like I said, kind of kept a little quieter because of this Cypher util in TSM's wake. Much harder for him to pop up in unexpected places.
Yeah, makes some noise as well. Damage would be of, you know, some significance. TSM's economy is certainly not off the ground right now.
Maybe a freebie here. Oh, he's 7. Dangerous, very dangerous. Like him on getting loud, and you've got to be. Remember, this is TSM's map.
GM Day will be able to buy it too here.
Map of this stage 3. I think they were like 7 and 2 coming into this game. It's to say it's crucial for them to pick this up is an understatement. Really need to find some solidity here, and they've done so at least in terms of their economy. Kind of booming right now. Gimon coming to the round pretty darn rich, but there's a dimensional drift, and we're still waiting to see how this kill contract gets employed by Kane.
Envy definitely have no shortage of options when we get back into the game. Can sync up the dimensional drift with the Hunter's Fury or the kill contract if they desire to do so. I have definitely seen Envy on Haven defense before when they have this kind of combo of ults just rip them early towards A main as well, if there's some sign of TSM going there. And sometimes even your Sova just sends it off barrier drop towards A main. So TSM definitely need to be weary about some action.
Ooh, what's up for your Vice Girl? On YouTube, what's up?
4 out of 5 rounds in his first half, obviously including only the bonus being lost. Pretty good progress.
For today's video, I have not watched it. So I will be watching it when the world watches it.
They've been pretty good at preempting some of the weird stuff that Envy are throwing at them. I call back to Gimon spraying that dark cover in A main last round. Now, though, they might have to deal with Ion playing real close here on B with the judge. But if Timo goes over the top, something similar, harder for him to do work with that shotgun.
So Envy put some more emphasis on early A long control. Inserting Eggster deep, does have the gate crash to get away to assist on C. Inspire is just playing with the backside trips to control for a potential retake or flood from Envy if TSM execute here. They are. Timatino's, not going to get spammed through the box there by a Phantom, though.
Nobody in, I guess, Garage. There's no control of that part of the map for Envy to capitalize there, but those are decent varied trips. Jimon takes the important kill against the Judge player. And now things looking much more face.
Envy gonna save.
In any other team, this could be a save. But not with these guys. Not now, anyway. Into the backside, they're already trying to push. Timo did take a slight hit. That's the clone out first. Timo's got to kind of watch two angles right now. The rest of his team falling back to these full post-plant positions. But I think if you're Envy here, you feel like your options are really limited.
Yeah, realistically, their only way back into that was when Kane pops his shield, jumps into garage, is trying to find a duel. Maybe if he kills someone there, they can try to do something off the back of it, right? But ultimately, when they're not getting that early kill and they know Seven has a rolling thunder for late into the round, there's really no chance they're ever going to get that defuse.
What am I looking at here? Envy.
All right, that's a big gun get right there.
Face there inside heaven. Ends up making it a trade for them, so they do lose an extra gun going into this round. Still seeing those key ultimates in hand. Didn't find a good use case for them as they were very quickly overwhelmed on the C side. So is Kimon winning it out as the Judge player. Maybe Timo getting a little ahead of himself there, but he's got the money to spend. Can happily invest. Rolling Thunder up and ready for Seven. His Odin play again has been pretty sublime.
What is the move here from Envy? Dark cover deep down mid, which implies, they could be trying to walk here a little more aggro. So TSM have to be somewhat hesitant, re-clear this together, but they know I want to at least push towards window. Now it's just a fast pivot in towards garage. They are definitely set up for this C split to come in very early into the round.
And honestly, Inspire's positioning kind of implies that he's expecting Rolling Thunder side hit, so he has to play off of C. Envy gambling a little bit heavily.
Also,
on the
what
A
happened? Did Kane forget to buy? He just has a classic in 3K.
I'm thinking he might be right. That's an odd. Okay, well, because he loses his gun at the end of that previous round. Unless he's trying to save for like something bigger, but unclear. Either way, Envy feels like they've never really been in this round. They play off the site. They respect the Rolling Thunder, but Seven hasn't had a reason to have to use it. Ion gets one at least with the Stinger here, but Kane is going to be gunned down. Nothing but a classic in his hands, so not a huge economy loss. And Ion now would just hope to make a quick exit. Quick and painful, likely it's to be.
It is becoming a pretty major issue for Envy as we get towards the end of this game that they haven't gotten the ult out of Seven, and now Vora with that kill just got the Hunter's Fury. So they've got that ult back. Both very powerful initiator ultimates that they can use on a full buy round. I mean, yeah, maybe did Kane need to stay at 3K to get an off for Eggster? Is that possibly what just happened?
Yeah, the Odin buy.
I don't know, but yeah, Kane has gone for the Odin. They do have a very strong full buy. Eggster's on the glass cannon up, mixing it up. Haven't seen that from Envy on defense quite yet. Maybe that can be the answer to their woes. It's just controlling C long and allowing Envy to play stacked up a little bit towards garage, and then Inspire can get that full setup over on the A side. He's been mostly prioritizing C.
Once again, these troops placed to give Envy a foothold is A side, but they know they have to play off of it. Rolling Thunder finally comes out though. Doesn't catch on to anyone, so the setup has been good and nice pings, but Vora just deals with Inspire. What traces? Just sprays down into heaven. Now Envy have to retake the site. Brutal at the best of times. And at what point does this dimensional drift get used? Extra as an op in hand. And God, you're lucky that you've got that double tap there. Nice by Timo, just preempting that pushy behind a contingency, but the Hunter's Fury might have claimed him anyway. There's Seven going down. It's a site stacked with these TSM players. And here's Eggster emerging amidst all of that noise clutter. Pops out with the Odin. Tries to
he gets two there.
Building the Hunter's Fury into this round. On his third kill, he and Alvin should be able to handle this Ion getting chunked down through the box. TSM have to know at this point they've done enough. They'll back away and give Ion enough rope rope to hang himself with.
Ooh.
Oh, what a play from Vora. Those Envy players just lined up in front of each other, getting back out of main.
Ban me now, bro. I think it's about to happen.
TSM
Account created in February, started following me 2 days ago. And it's literally just says ban me now, bro, on their channel.
Get enough of value to win this out. They've still got
Ban me now, bro, gone. Bro, I was gone for a month plus and they're still finding me.
Had a dimensional drift.
Crazy.
The only player with the op there, which is fair. Extra win glass cannon that round. Kane saved, full saved around, presumably to get an over. I wonder what's left in the bag of tricks for him. It feels like they're running on fumes. Kimo's already up into the C corner now, starting to move with a bit of swiftness to his step. A bit of confidence built up after a grind, an absolute slog yesterday, and a tough first map. TSM asserted himself on what is undeniably their home ground. And what is Kane looking
Did
for?
Sova just ult and it didn't do anything?
Yeah, the undercut into the back corner, only catching onto the Omen. Zemo happy to stand out and deliver in the open. Iron X are the only players to get on the board here for Envy. Poppin found his one.
Shoot!
That
ended quick.
Advantage and weaponry for TSM. I guess Envy saving a lot of this stuff now for later. Last round of the game potentially if they cannot put a stop to this avalanche from TSM, and that is their own rendition of 6 rounds in a row, 8 from 9 of this half.
TSM have been playing off-site and a lot of their post plans towards C, but they pick a great round to play on-site, just set up the crossfires. You know, when Kane uses shield, Vora just immediately uses the Hunter's Fury, so Envy can't flood back in, and the TSM are able to post up together. It's really nicely handled. Kane has been sitting on this kill contract for a minute. But really, what opportunity does he have to use it? Nothing great.
I feel like it's part of the game plan, really. Nice little pop and timing for 2. Yeah, we take those. Garage control's been an issue for Envy, a pain point. As Vora will be fought for it. Yeah, I know you wish, Ion. You wish, buddy. Sorry, mate. You're a controller player. Even though he does get his outings on the Clove and feels a little bit more like a duelist. So, Seven's found himself in a pretty interesting spot here, but Exeter are a little bit surprised to see him pop up there back towards that spawn side. And here's a little theft. It's going to be traded out, so no more nasty surprises for Envy. They now can close the net. Winnable for TSM, of course. Spike still to hand, and the opportunity to fall back to some powerful post-plant positions. They got 7 with a full cache of utility and the Odin.
No, Inspire is caught trying to jump over the trip.
Wishful thinking, I feel. There's Alvin, and there's 7. Knows Inspire was coming a mile off, and it's down on Kane. Are we doing this? Contingency and a tap. Move up. Caught inside the fault line, though, from 7, and he's going to get around it first. 4 kills from 7. TSM.
Alrighty. We have a match, baby. We have a match.
TSM really only lose a couple incidental rounds. They lose the bonus, acceptable, and then another one later on. Fire and away, the better team on this map.
7 had a really standout performance with that Odin playing the breach.
All 5 of them wear glasses.
As well. It's been a very
all 5
player. I mean, credit to TSM, who struggled on attack yesterday and then seemingly make all the right decisions on attack today. Envy, the attack of their own, I thought was really well structured. They made a good adaptation. Really played well as far as the map control goes. But then on defense, just so many awkward little solo pushes, players getting caught alone, far more disconnected on that side, and TSM were really able to exploit that.
I mean, it's not just the map as well. I just think that, you know, Envy's ability to express their style was limited much more, right? Inspire's not able to do nearly as much as he can on that attack side by popping up in some weird locations. I mentioned he might be a little bit chained, but there were other issues, of course, there for Envy. So, TSM win their map, showing that they're willing to throw down with this Envy squad, who so many teams have just been cracked by. So, we're going to be back after a break with Hitman, of course. They're going to talk.
Poor guys. That's one thing with my wife and I. We hope that the kids get my eyesight, not mom's eyesight. Man, I gotta fix this sign behind me, bro. I appreciate the lurk, Maniac.
Day we can beat anybody.
We're just planning on winning this one and going to Ascension and showing the same.
Second map in this best of 5 grand finals, highlighted as a must-win for TSM if they want any opportunity to try and win this series. And it gets a little murky. We lose the plot for a second, and TSM able to capitalize. Rory taking the win in the end and tying up the series 1-1. I mean, looking back at it, we know that they're strong on Haven, but yeah, it works out this time.
And it wasn't the half that we expected them to be so dominant on, right? Or half for Envy, we're like thinking like, oh man, this was supposed to be TSM's match. Like a half, they're supposed to be doing extremely well in that first half, but they racked up only 4 rounds. Then the side swap, guys, and it's a completely different TSM that we're seeing on that attack side. It felt like as soon as the side swapped, TSM had their number from start to finish, from the way from the pace that they were playing at, from how they were managing their space in the late rounds to kind of disrupt Envy and not allow them to feel comfortable to do those fast floods that they're really successful at. And it felt like a lot of the sort of, I don't want to use the word gimmick, but a lot of like kind of the cheesy stuff like the Heaven spams with utility and kind of like the Odin spams, it got minimized so well by TSM, and it felt like they almost never played into Envy's hands when it came to any of those plays. And when it came to those late rounds, felt like TSM had the choke points on lock.
Yeah, as you're saying, we thought that for TSM, the defense was going to be a lot more dominant starting off, especially because they got the anti-eco. And as you're mentioning, they only get 4 rounds, but when we go into the attack, they win the pistol and they're able to convert, only allowing the side of Envy to get a single round. There were a lot of attempts of retakes that were simply not working out for the side of Envy. You see TSM often opting for that C side hit, but even when they were going towards A, there was a round 20 when you see an attempt of a retake, but while you have Inspire still holding towards Heaven, he gets taken down, and then there's a heavy investment with an Odin and operator that Envy were saving for, and immediately gets shot down as TSM were actually trying to push towards that choke, making sure that that is not the case. There were a couple of trades here and there, but it seems like every single time that TSM had to close it out, they were able to do so, and also coming out in ways that we didn't really get the chance to see in that map number 1, right? GMD in those same situations, once again closing it out against Sarah and getting some momentum that way. They had so many ultimates into the late rounds to close it out. They had obviously that Rolling Thunder, that Hunter's Fury as well, and Envy that were just waiting for the right time, it feels like, to use these ultimates, and they didn't really get the chance to do so.
Yeah, and when you look at the first kills and the kind of the first deaths, it felt like Envy was winning a lot of those opening picks, right? It was like 14-8, if I'm not mistaken. It felt like a lot of the early picks were going in Envy's favor. But when it came down to the mid rounds, when it came down to the late rounds, just felt like it was so TSM dominant, the way they were moving around the map and the way they were kind of utilizing everything to their advantage. And I also felt like I was in a Norse mythology class where it's just Odin. It was all about the Odin.
Yeah.
We're getting a lot of Odin recently, whether that is good or bad. Yeah, we'll let you decide for yourself. But hey, it can be used to great effect, and we've gotten to see some of our players do that. And I know Seven, we got to see a little Odin from him as well. But even if you're just looking at the performance across the board from TSM from Seven, Dan, he was highlighted at the top of day for the reason. And yeah, the flexibility and the consistency at that level will prove to pay off on us again.
Once again, Seven is incredible on this map. Again, not only that utility, the way that he was holding towards A-Link and waiting even for that push coming on the side of Envy, but also as we got to see once they swapped sides, what he was able to do. It's just, he's incredible. I feel like we mention it every single time, but I feel like in this map is very clear. The Odin, absolutely a part of it, but you're just using those win conditions and making it work out. Sarah, you know, he was also trying to have the operator the Odin for a few of these rounds, and it didn't work out. So just Seven coming up on top.
Better Odin abuser. That's, you know, sometimes it be like that. But with that victory, TSM will tie up this series. So we definitely get a fourth map confirmed, which is exciting. But talking about the third map, it gets interesting once again, because Lotus is a map we've seen a lot of envy from Envy, whereas on the opposing end, in the past, this necessarily hasn't been the strongest for TSM. But Dan, yesterday's series, we got to see them play this Lotus up against Core. Not only that, but with this composition swap that proved to pay off quite well.
Right, so speaking of Odin maps, I have great news for the Odin enjoyers coming up. This was, as you're saying, yesterday, pretty interesting in the side of TSM. They win it 13-10 against Core, and it was crazy. We saw the Sage. We didn't know what to expect with the Sage and the Vice comp that we've pretty much never seen before.
Yo, what's up, Riz?
Seven was just utilizing it to the best of potentials, not only for the late runs, but also early on to sort of, or even deny the fights that Core wanted to take early on towards a Rubble. So many interesting things that you can do here. It's just one of those that I was like, what if they change it this time around? But hey, it worked yesterday. I'm assuming you're going to be seeing it against today.
I kind of like the Sage too. I feel like the on-demand utility from her being like the second Sentinel on the roster and being able to preserve a lot of that utility and kind of use it for yourself or use it on demand is actually so good on this map, and is very oppressive on both sides, where you can use the slows to kind of take A control, or you can use it to stop executes. Like, it's so disruptive, and I feel like if Envy is not doing a great job at kind of drawing some of that utility thin or kind of
welcome back, Riz. Welcome back.
To allow themselves to kind of hit sites comfortably.
Hey, so when will you be fully healed? Just one of my new videos.
I feel like Inspire has been
one of my new videos, Riz.
On the attack side, like, he's finding so many gaps. He's finding so many opportunities.
Another on in Old Town Scottsdale, baby.
You have no gadgets on the roster. You have no trips. Obviously, you have the Vice Wall, but you don't have a camera. You don't have traps. Like, it's kind of hard to sometimes stop that lurk, especially during the late round high pressure. I feel like I'm gonna keep an eye out on Inspire to see what he's gonna do to kind of find his value on that attack side.
What I'm most excited for is when we get to see TSM on the defense, because they were so aggressive towards that A site, towards Rebel, and knowing how
alright, so range of motion and some strength.
I feel like there's definitely some opportunities
still to go.
Some really fast clashes in the second half of the map. But getting into the map, let's at least get confirmation of TSM's composition first, considering we've only seen it the once. It was yesterday, but see if they decide overnight to switch things up. And getting into it, we're gonna be sticking with the same heater, Dan.
it's going to be the same as we saw yesterday with the stage and the vibes that is being played, and this time around they're going to be starting on the attack side. That changes a little bit what we saw when they were facing core, but yeah, once again, as we talked about, that stage can be really annoying to deal with. I feel like something that we didn't really see them getting a lot of value of is they were playing hiding in these corners of the wall, and every single time, because the Odin was also on the other side for core, the wall was getting destroyed, and they couldn't really play for these pretty much one and done positions every time. So maybe they can get it away with it this time around, but it's a TSM that look pretty scary on it, and I want to see how
I'm already lifting my instrument with my right arm. All right.
So on point right now, guys, which puts a lot of pressure on this first half for Envy, right?
I like that, man. When I broke my wrist, I couldn't do anything for 6. It was a really bad break. So my arm stayed in the L cast for 6 weeks. I lost all my strength.
So I feel like Envy needs to do what they do best, be disruptive, brawl a lot in the early round, you know, like flank heavily. Just don't allow TSM to push and pull you, kind of get you to be extremely drawn thin, and just kind of just have a comfortable retake, draw out their numbers, maybe get a couple kills, you know, devolve the round a little bit, because that's what I'm looking for Envy to do.
I mean, Envy in that last map, so many of the first bloods their way, but TSM did such a good job.
When will you be back to gaming regularly, Riz?
Lotus, if they can weather the storm once again. I'm excited to get into this and see a little bit more Odin spam personally.
Let's get your account leveled and let's play some comp.
Over to your casters, Wyatt and Uber.
Oh, yes, we're running.
I'll switch my alt account to my main account. My shoulder still has the bone poking through the skin. Woo!
Yesterday, those slow orbs, rubble fights, and there's even a cute
all right.
sort of
Smart.
that they managed to
definitely take school more serious.
We're on attack first for TSM. Envy here. Kane comes out of that last map 7-2 in first kill and first death, really leading the way. But Envy found it a lot on that defense side, stretched very thin, and TSM were hitting them hard.
Yeah, that I'm not gonna lie, it's a pretty crazy stat given what happened in that game. I'm surprised to hear that even. Let's see if Envy can turn their fortune around on Lotus. I think this is a map that they have always been really quality at, honestly. But I love TSM's game plan yesterday. 7 Sage was looking really nice. A lot of valuable utility if you can get the spike down. Had a lot of really crucial walls on attack as well. Just cutting off certain angles, having slows in those post plants is really nice to stop floods. And flooding is something this Envy comp would love to do. So it's a nice little counter to have.
Just popping here at A for now. Decent seaside control with a push up on the mound for Envy. So they're able to dedicate players to this part of the map pretty quickly, and Poppin's able to see this coming. Surely you cancel in towards the B site. Yep, so there's a bit of cypher util though around this area. And Exeter would hope to make use of it. Severanita drops onto the site now. Gibbon steps out and takes a hit. Exeter gonna get himself in there, but hit with the paranoia is gonna have to call a cancel on that straight away. And ultimately Kane is a little bit alone as he pushes up from upper. Has the double tap, but with Exeter having to double back with that paranoia hitting.
All right. I like TSM getting the first one.
That was really well played from TSM, making all of that pressure towards a very fast pivot with all 5 players basically through Baby Door. It was 4 of them and then 1 just
5 minutes until the premiere, baby. 5 minutes until the premiere. Let's go.
Destroying those Envy players when they're trying to pop back out of the smokes.
See it here, yeah. The spacing, this wasn't what Envy were hoping it to be. They wanted to get into the site behind that clone. Great start again. Gimon, spiritual leader for this team. TSM quickly over to Rubble now. TP across just in case. They obviously have to respect at least what the fade can do. Okay, crash to A, so at least Exeter can fall off this line after taking a shot. But he never sees Timo coming.
Now TSM can slow down the game a bit. Poppin waiting in Baby Door, but can't exactly get out of there too quickly with the Classic, so won't be able to do much. Site going to be incredibly free.
And honestly, I feel like the rest of this round probably will follow.
Why isn't Alvin getting the sheriff there?
T1 pistols also very good. Talking about an early warning system. And Envy here to really feel empowered to go for anything remotely intricate. Stacked up here in Baby Door. Some discussion here. Poppin wanting Kane at least to be at the ready if push comes to shove. But the odds of them actually getting in here, there's no way they're getting a weapon out of this situation. sort of wait to be done here and head over in the direction of that spike. Might likely perish to the blast, but maybe door's been opened up. Recon was destroyed, but Alvin already has got himself an Ares in hand. Spraying through those rather permeable walls.
They're going to struggle to die to the blast. All right, they're able to get out of the door. Out without 7 collecting another kill. I like that from TSM. They throw the ghost over to him. He was, you know, the one closest to an ultimate, so he's able to take some of those engagements. Doesn't matter if he dies to the spike, so gets an additional third. He's just 2 away from the res, and he's going to pick up the Ares. You know, Sierra is crazy for saying she wants more Odin. Did you hear that at the end, Mitch? The desk?
I did.
A devious request.
Again, I guess something for everyone in this series, right? We are going to see plenty of it, though. This is the map for it. Or a map for it, as we've discovered. Acer wants to fight for this mound control, and he'll take 2. Happy with that, surely. Especially with Kane being able to assert himself in B main. Back over towards the door here. Dumont would like to test it. Wants to take the fight against this ISO, but Kane is waiting and expecting a second player. It's all played out before him now. And a double tap means it's a fight that's easily won. A clean win on this first gun round of Envy.
That's just some honest gunplay, isn't it? I mean, just no real utility involved. Eggster gets 2K. Kane's here, shoots 3 people. Honest to God FPS gameplay.
And I think that...
You seeing a util? I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing any util.
Not even one. Just pushing off the sights. Again, that was like another round where like Envy do want to take that early mount control. This time looks like the aggression is going to be channeled to the other side of the map, though. Dark cover thrown down. That's a lot of control here for Iron to be able to post up on rubble. Okay, 7. extra feeling the heat from that Odin.
Envy want to push very far. And with that Prowler going all the way into spawn, they know they can safely activate that shear wall and begin to threaten a flank for TSM. That might encourage them to try to get into the C site. And if they do so, Envy, they've got 3 players here. They have a backside trip to play off of as well. But TSM going to, at the very least, activate the door just to make Envy think that they could be going over towards B. Try to draw some attention away from this C site.
Looks like there's a one-way up on this corner, of course, because it's an Inspire site, which means that Extra won't see anything when that gets popped. Well, Inspire can't see anything either. Kane at least is able to watch the cross, but Timo got through first. Now he's trying to clear that backside. This might force Inspire to move here. Kane trying to get a little bit more active. Inspire very low, caught inside that slow orb. The Sage difference starting to manifest yet again. Now the site is crawling with the remainders of TSM. 3 up. Coppet, I think, was just searching for a timing. He's gotten in. Still has to contend with his dark cover that obscures some level of vision. And Timo will be left on the site just to tear them apart.
Lovely shot from Ion. But can he even get around the corner? I mean, well, I don't think it's Timotino, but he is just in the perfect trade position. Little surprised TSM were able to pull that round out just, you know, on account of...
All right, here we go. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year. Yeah, I remember this. This is my first time on a horse. Oh, Happy New Year. Look at that sweaty back. So true. I feel so exposed up here on this horse. Oh yeah. So I have it muted right here. If you want to pull it up, it's in the link. It's hard to talk over and all that stuff. Yes, sir. So normally I don't even have these up. Watch it. So this is the premiere right now. It's the only way it's available on YouTube is watching it live. And then after it goes live, it'll be posted to YouTube. And that's when I generally watch it the second time and do a reaction video. This is wild to watch again. This is wild to watch again. What's up, Michelle? This is my first time on a horse, Michelle. Ever. I just randomly met this guy in Old Town. It was scary. Yes, in certain towns, yeah. You can, in lots of places in Arizona, you can pretty much ride them almost anywhere. So we're doing something new as well, Michelle. This is, we're releasing 3 long forms a week now. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then we're doing 3 short forms per week. We'll see. This video is about 2 to 3 more minutes now. But we'll be doing that we're gunning for a year. We're going to go from September 1st to August 31st of next year. And just see how it goes. Oh yeah, I'm doing it on all platforms. So all my long forms go on YouTube, but my short forms go on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. He's so much taller than me. I don't know if you could tell that. Hope you have a lovely life. Yes, without a 9 to 5, life is beautiful. I've spent so much more time with my kids. It's been awesome, especially since our baby was born. What do you mean more than a regular corp? What does that mean? Like a regular, a regular corporate job. Well, I mean, you're going in the right direction right now as a content creator. I imagine you keep the growth going and all that sort of stuff, and I don't know, in a year from now, maybe you get rid of the corporate life. There we go. That's the first video, baby. All right, let's go back to this. There we go. Man, that was awesome. That was awesome. That video is much different. Me first? You are definitely ahead of the game here, Michelle. You're way ahead of me when it comes to building a community and all that sort of stuff. If I were you, I'd actually consider starting a Patreon. But you're ahead in terms of content, goals, and knowing what you want. I just learned lessons. Everything I'm at right now is because something else failed and led me to something else. I'd be happy to share my my stuff with you, but you streaming and having a base already is huge, Michelle. Huge. This is where I think you, as a variety streamer, could do huge things. You could release long form video on kind of like your process of playing games. Not even necessarily just gameplay, right? But same thing with GD, like what you're doing to get better and all that sort of stuff. Oh, believe me, I feel that. Like right now, the grind of getting this much content up is challenging. I really need to get a program. Hopefully. I'd really like a program that uploaded to all social media at the scheduled time. That would be ideal. But if you ever want to talk, Michelle, I'm down to share my lessons I've learned so far. But I haven't reached any sort of success, so I don't know that you want to take my advice yet. Appreciate that, Michelle. Hope it leads to something. Let's go! And then when one of us makes a partner, we go back to TwitchCon. You are definitely much closer to partner than I am. I think it would be cool just going into the building. Just going into that, wow. Going into, oh, I need to turn on the audio.
Does he drop down, try and make a play for it? Yes. But would it make sound in doing so?
But yeah, just to go in there and hang out with partners.
How is Extra able to do that? It's wayward spray that eventually is corrected. And so Timo here with the paranoia. Here's the sound bait. They're more concerned about Extra and they don't know where he is. Now we can work this. Grenade clears a little bit more space. Ion has got to be him here. And it might end up being a straight swing in the
Woo!
Ion is quick.
Ion is so good, bro. Oh yeah. Going into the lounge. You're just in there rubbing elbows with Average Jonas and Shazam and some other dudes.
As far as, you know, kind of that mid-round, pressuring into B, they had Alvin inserted.
Who was the girl that we met?
And then when all of Envy are going towards
what was her name?
Back towards
the one who stepped on the dude?
Poppin, who was just jumping stairs for info. It all
Caitlyn.
seemed so good until Extra just walks in and GMD.
I still can't believe we saw a dude get stepped on in person. That's crazy.
Clutches in that half. Really feels like Envy's rounds just came down to heroics, honestly.
Yo, you've seen her in your games? That's wild.
You know, that's...
I never see famous people.
That crazy thrifty round.
Michelle talks to famous people. We are not the same.
I think that's fair to say. I think on the macro level, TSM have been far and beyond the better team. But this is where this Envy side get to cook up some magic. We've seen it on multiple occasions. And already, Inspire has made his way out onto the A side of the map. There's always that potential. A little bit harder, I think, to have these absurd, lurks on this map. But there's the door open. Bro is walking straight into the tree. Seven trying to respond with the wall here, but it's going to be overwhelmed. It's too easy to break in the immediacy of its deployment. And now Ion, nice little off angle here. There's crunch potential aplenty. And I think TSM just experienced that firsthand. Alvin has to be face up about this. Telegraphed as it is, Ion will send him packing. There's that crucial pistol for Envy to build a base off.
And if last map was
I might go ahead and call my stream right now. I'm going to go watch the premiere with my kids and see how that goes. But I will be back. I doubt I'll be back tonight, but I'll most likely be back tomorrow and Friday. The video premieres Friday. Also, Michelle, if you want a free budgeting spreadsheet, join my Patreon. It's free, and the spreadsheet is included. And that's for anybody else as well. Join the Patreon, get a free budget spreadsheet. That's what I'm talking about. But I am out of here. Hope you guys have a wonderful day, and we will catch you soon.
We can at least set some of the
Bye,
context,
everybody.
I think, to this next half. In general, like Envy on this map been really quite...
Bye.